Hey everybody, hope you guys are doing well. Let's discuss 15 words today that will improve your English language and improve your writing and speaking. Wherever you listen to English, you will understand these words because these are common words. Believe it or not, they're going to be a little difficult, but they are common. So if you don't know them, you're not like a native speaker. So let's get into it and learn these words. Word number one is aggrandize. Aggrandize means to enhance power. So if someone wants to improve their power of military by putting in more soldiers, they are aggrandizing their power. If someone wants to build a business and build it more by putting more marketing, putting more services, they are doing the same thing with a business. They are doing something to aggrandize the business. So it means to enhance and to make bigger, make more powerful, and it's just a combination of all those things. That is what aggrandize means. Very good word to use. Word number two is beguile. Beguile is way more common. Beguile means to influence someone in a deceptive way. So if you don't know what deceptive means, it means to lie to someone or be unfaithful to someone. So for example, I was deceptive to my colleague when I told him that he was not ready for promotion, just so I could get the promotion. So that's why I was being deceptive to him. So that means that's another word, bonus word for you, and that means just to lie to someone. Now, beguile is to influence someone in a deceptive way. So to basically influence someone in a way where you are lying. So if I tell my child, hey, if you grow up, all your money belongs to me because I raised you, and it's his money, so I'm being deceptive, obviously, and I'm influencing him at the same time. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to beguile my child, and that's what beguile means. Word number three is archetypal. All right, so I learned this today, by the way. Archetypal means typical. It's the same thing like typical. So you can say he's a typical Canadian if he, walks in a t-shirt in -10. So you can also say he's an archetypal Canadian. Someone who's very typical. You can say typical cook, typical doctor, typical whatever. You can also say they are the archetypal doctor, archetypal person, archetypal whatever. Word number four is callous. We have discussed callous before, but I thought it was important to mention this. It is a good word to know, and a lot of people don't use it. So callous means disregard for others, something where you show that you don't really care about others. For example, he had very callous comments about his employer. So he had very bad, degrading comments about his employer. He had callous remarks about that person. So it's something that will make the other person look bad or weak, and it shows disregard for the other person. Word number five is cognizant. When you're cognizant of something, you're aware of something. So I'm cognizant of what's happening right now in my business with my competitors. It means I know what they're doing. I know their next moves. So if you're cognizant of something, you're aware of that thing or that situation. Word number six is construe. If you construe something in a certain way, it means you interpret that thing in a certain way. For example, I construe that the weather is going to get better based on the predictions. That means I interpret the weather is going to get better. So construe is a synonym, a fancy synonym of the word interpret. So what you should use is construe because you want to sound more fancy, especially if you're trying to gain good marks in your English tests. The next word is disparate. I wanted to include this because it sounds very similar to desperate, but this is different. Disparate means completely different. We use the word different. We also sometimes use the word distinct, but what if you use disparate? Disparate is going to give you more marks. It is unique, it's fancier, and that means the same thing, something different. So Bob and Shane had two disparate ideas. So it means they had just two different ideas, completely not related to each other. And it's a good word to use. It's fancier instead of just saying different ideas. Okay, next word is denigrate. When you denigrate someone, it's a verb. You criticize that person harshly, okay? So I didn't like being denigrated by my boss when he had these comments about me. So you denigrate someone, you criticize someone harshly. Word number 9 is idiosyncratic. So I used the version of this word, which is idiosyncrasy. Idiosyncrasy means some uniqueness about someone, something very different. So he has the idiosyncrasy of having a great singing voice. So it means that's something that's unique about that person. Now you can also say idiosyncratic. Okay, so I can say he is an idiosyncratic singer. That means he's a unique singer. In this case, I'm using it in a good way, that he is probably a really good singer, different than everybody else. I can also say he has an idiosyncratic mindset. Now that could mean he has a very negative, very different, absurd mindset, or maybe a really good one, better than everybody else. So that means something unique and different. Word number 10 is inveterate. Inveterate is habitual. So if you are an inveterate smoker, you are a habitual smoker. You smoke a lot. So anything that you do with habit, you can use that word there. For example, I'm an inveterate reader, means I read a lot. All right. Next word is multifarious. Multifarious sounds so much similar to nefarious. Nefarious means something evil. But multifarious has nothing to do with evilness. It has something to do with diversity. So someone who is diverse, something that is diverse, is multifarious. For example, the thinking among the 10 people sitting in one room can be multifarious. It means everybody could have different thoughts, 10 different thoughts. Okay? I like to study on multifarious cultures, different cultures. All right. Largesse. Largesse means generosity. New word for me and for you, I'm pretty sure. It's not that common, but a very good one to use if you are trying to replace or find a synonym for generosity or kindness. Largesse is a good one to use. So he displayed a lot of largesse when he gave half of his wealth to charity. The third last word is obdurate. Once again, we're going into a lot of good synonyms today. The synonym for stubborn is obdurate. Okay, instead of saying someone is stubborn, someone doesn't want to change their ways, you can say that person is obdurate. Fancier, more mature word to use. Number 14, promulgate. Promulgate means to spread or broadcast. So in our company, some negative employee promulgated the idea that I'm going to cut paychecks. Okay, so that means they broadcast it. They send this idea, and it's a negative thing. Could be a positive thing too. Someone promulgated the idea that everyone's going to get promotions. So it's something that is broadcasted or spread through a network. And the last word is phlegmatic. This is something I'm sure you've heard. If you have any exposure to English, like movies or anything, I'm sure you've heard this. You probably ignored it because you didn't know, but I'm sure you've heard this. It's common. Phlegmatic means someone who shows no emotion. Okay, so I think I'm a phlegmatic person, actually. I don't show a lot of emotion when I mean something. So for example, if I really like someone, they might not know because I'm a phlegmatic person, so I don't show emotion. I'm pretty serious. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's boring. So that means someone who has no emotions, phlegmatic. And that's the last word. I hope you learned a lot with these words. I promise you they're common, except for largesse, probably. Everything else is common. So make sure you learn them, memorize them, and use them. And use them especially as synonyms. I gave you examples of how you can use them in place of some other words. Do that. You're going to sound fancy and you're going to sound amazing. And if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk to you soon.